have scratches. What is he on? Whoa.
So the guy with the big belly is the defendant, Nicholas Mew.
Where's your way? Oh, God. Yeah. What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? Get away from us. What? What's going on with y'all homie? He's on camera. Tripping. He's on 4K. Yo, the new iPhone got that good quality. What do you say? Yeah, what the hell? Who is this? Yes. For the culture. Who is that? For the culture. Who is that? Who the hell is this?
Bro, doesn't matter.
He said he was looking for little girl. He said he was looking for little girl. You're looking for little girl? Yeah. That's exactly what he said. We're not us out. I didn't have that part on camera. What the hell is this guy's problem, bro? We're trying to have fun. He's gonna claim you. He's gonna claim you. We don't want this one. He ain't a woman. He ain't a woman. You ain't a woman. He ain't a woman. You got him. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? He's dying. He's dying, bro. What? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are we serious? Is this real? Oh my God. Who is that? Oh my God. Oh my God. Is this real? Is this real? Oh my God. Oh my God. What the fuck? Is this real? Like, that's not bike! That's not bike! That's not bike! That's not Isaac! Oh my God! Oh my God! This isn't real! This isn't real!
It was pretty real. Isaac, the name referenced there, is actually the victim who died in this event. And as unlikely, as common actually in knife attacks, quite different than gun attacks. So a gunfight, I should say, there's really no delay between the use of the gun and the awareness of everybody around that deadly force is at play. In knife fights, it's quite common for there to be a substantial delay between the use of the deadly force, the use of the knife, and people's awareness that deadly force is at play. Often when people are stabbed, the effects are delayed, but also often when people are stabbed, they don't know they're being stabbed. It feels just like a punch to them. So unless they see the knife, they may feel just like they're being punched, not be aware that they could potentially have been mortally wounded. We see that kind of delay here. So if I rewind this, well, I don't want it to play again. One of the people who was stabbed, and we'll have a close-up of this, is wearing bright yellow bathing suit. I'm going backwards through the video now. Where was he? Right there. He's been stabbed. He's on his back here. He's very seriously stabbed. We'll see during the trial, the scar left on his belly is maybe a foot long. So very serious. But but I'm going backwards again. The point at which he was stabbed, by the way, there we can see the defendant with the knife in his right hand. And the actual stabbing occurs see, he's about to bring the knife up, or he's already brought it up. He's already stabbed right there. That's when the person in the yellow gets stabbed. That's at 1:55. And then we see him on his back floating in the river at 2:09. So about 15 seconds later. And it's only now that bystanders are beginning to realize that people have been seriously, in one case, fatally stabbed. All right. So Nikolai Mew is claiming self-defense for his use of force here. What's required for a claim of self-defense to be valid here? Well, it's the usual 5 elements of self-defense: innocence, imminence, proportionality, avoidance, and reasonableness. These are the building blocks of any claim of self-defense. Now, these are 5 elements. The good news is only up to these 5 elements are required for a use of force to be lawful self-defense. There's not 500 elements. There's not 50 that you have to remember. There's only 5, and sometimes not even all 5. For example, the element of avoidance has to do with whether or not there's a legal duty to retreat. Wisconsin is a stand your ground state. There is no legal duty to retreat in Wisconsin before you can otherwise lawfully defend yourself. So effectively, then there's really only 4 elements, although avoidance can be brought back in if you were the provoker of the confrontation, which I'm sure will be a legal issue in this case. So you can reacquire a legal duty to retreat. Also, Wisconsin is a soft stand your ground state, meaning that although there's no legal duty to retreat, you don't automatically lose self-defense because of a failure to retreat. The state is free to talk about the fact that if you had an opportunity to retreat and a reasonable person would have taken advantage of it, your failure to take advantage of that safe avenue of retreat made your conduct unreasonable. And of course, reasonableness is its own independent element of self-defense. If your use of force was unreasonable, you failed the reasonableness element. That's a required element of self-defense. You lose self-defense. Now, all these elements are points of attack for a prosecutor because they are cumulative. Cumulative, meaning all the required elements are obviously required. If anyone is missing, whatever your use of force was, it cannot have been self-defense. Now, it may have been imperfect self-defense, and we'll talk more about that in a moment, but it cannot have been perfect self-defense. Perfect self-defense is what gets you to an acquittal. When it's perfect self-defense, your use of force was simply not a crime. Now, of course, self-defense is an affirmative defense, meaning that you're not saying it wasn't you, someone else did it, you have an alibi. You're saying the opposite of that. You're saying it was you. You did this. You used force against this person and caused them injury, caused them death, whatever the case may be. But you had the legal justification of self-defense. So what an affirmative defense is saying is it's a defense of confession and avoidance. You're confessing not to a crime, but you're confessing to the underlying physical conduct that is the basis for the criminal charge against you, in this case, murder. But you're seeking to avoid criminal liability based on a legal justification, in this case, self-defense. So those 5 elements. Let's step through them quickly. So innocence, the first of the 5, has to do with you not being the initial aggressor in the confrontation. And Wisconsin law defines initial aggressor pretty broadly. It doesn't necessarily have to be criminal aggression. It could be conduct that you would have a reasonable expectation would lead to a confrontation. Fighting words, for example, could be enough.